Good morning, students. Say your prayer. Thank you. நான் ஒரு நல்ல ஆசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். நான் ஒரு நல்ல ஆசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். நான் ஒரு நல்ல ஆசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். Okay, students, take your social science book. Take page number 71. So today we will move to empire building in East Asia. So first in China, then we will discuss about the rise of Christianity and also finally about the Byzantium Empire. So in previous class we discussed about the classical world, so Greece and Rome. So during that time, so during the classical period, so what happened in Asia, especially in East Asia. Okay, so in China, so already we have discussed about the Chinese civilization and also the empire building. So initially the ancient period empires of China. In our second unit we have discussed about some empires in China. Then also we discussed about the religious faith in China. So the Confucianism, then Taoism we have discussed. Then what happened in China during classical period? So which dynasty ruled the China? So we will discuss in this video. Then after that we will discuss about the rise of Christianity. So you know Christianity, so the major religion of the world. Okay, so who was the founder of the Christianity religion? So how it spread to the European countries, so how it became an important religion in European countries. So we discussed that also. Then finally the Byzantium Empire. So the Byzantium, so they followed the Roman Empire. So after the fall of Roman Empire, so the Byzantium Empire, so they ruled Rome and also part of Persia. Okay, finally they were defeated by the Ottoman Turks. So how they were defeated, so we will discuss this topic. And finally, so what happened in India during the classical period? So what happened in India, so what are the important events, so which dynasty, so who ruled India, so during the classical period, we will see at the end of this session. Okay, okay students, let us move into the lesson. So recall what we discussed about in our previous class. So we discussed about the Roman Empire. So one of the greatest empire in ancient world. Okay, so because they almost ruled the whole of Europe continent and also the part of North Africa. So the famous and the biggest empire in ancient period was the Roman Empire. So we discussed about the Roman Republic. So the people were divided as two classes, so patricians and plebeians, and we discussed about the war between them, so the civil war which took place in Rome. Then we also discussed the importance of the strategical importance of Rome, because it located in the crisscross section in the Mediterranean Sea. So economically it became prosperous. Then we discussed about the class war between patricians and plebeians. Then the transfer of power from consuls to emperor. Initially there is no emperor, so consul is there. So consul is so like an assembly, so legislative assembly. Okay, so the transfer of power from consuls to emperor. So because there was a civil war took place in consuls. So finally after crushing the civil wars, Augustus, so he emerged as an dictator. So he emerged as a dictator and he declared himself as the imperator. So that is the establishment of principate. So these things we have discussed. Then after Augustus there was an emperor rule. So emperor rule in Rome. Okay, so society under principate. So what happened in Rome when it became a principate, when it became a empire? Okay, then we discussed about the Augustan age. So during his period, so some well-known persons lived, so like Pliny, then Seneca, then Horace, so like these persons lived. So they add some proud to the Roman literature and also to the Roman culture. Then we discussed about the Punic Wars and the emergence of Imperial Roman Empire. So Punic Wars, so the war between Roman Empire and the Carthaginian Empire. So Carthaginian, so they were from North Africa. So Romans defeated the Carthaginian general powerful, unrivaled powerful country in the Western world. Yeah, then we discussed about the external invasions and the decline of Roman Empire. So what was the causes of the decline of Roman Empire? So the main reason is because of they face threat from the barbarian incursions. So they face threat from the tribal people. So foreigners. So it led to the defeat of Roman Empire. Okay, so we have discussed these things in our previous class. So how Rome emerged from a consul to an empire and how it was defeated. Okay, so first there was a class of people. So there are two classes of people. So often they have quarrel with each other. Then what happened in consuls also? So there is a lot of social issues. So the members of the consuls often fought with each other. So by crushing this Augustus, so he became the emperor. So the first emperor of the Roman country. So for the Roman Empire. So imperator means in English word it is equal to emperor. So during this period, so many scholars and many well-known persons lived. Okay. Then we discussed about some of the important Roman rulers. Then finally we discussed about the decline of Roman Empire. Okay. So Greece and Rome we have discussed in the previous class. So now we will come to East Asia. So first China. Empire building in East Asia. So China. Fall of Qin dynasty. So Wang Cheng. So he was popularly known as Shi Huangdi. So can you remember this name? In second unit. So while discussing about the Chinese civilization, so we studied about him. So Wang Cheng. So he was popularly known as Shi Huangdi. So meaning the first emperor. So Shi Huangdi. So in Chinese language it means the first emperor. He entered the age of warring states in China. So he entered the age of warring states in China. So that means, so before Shi Huangdi, so there were numerous warring states. So China was divided as numerous states. So these states so often quarrel with each other. So often fought with each other. So Shi Huangdi entered the age of warring state in China. He crushed all the local rulers and established a strong central government. Okay, so Shi Huangdi so crushed the local rulers of China. So because they were often involved in war with each other. So Shi Huangdi crushed the local rulers and established a strong central government. So Shi Huangdi established a strong central government. However, oppressings of the peasantry, unlike in other cultures, occurred again and again in China. But what happened in China after that? So oppressings of peasantry. So peasants means small farmers, so small landholders. So China so consists of so many small landholders. So they often rose against their rulers. So because of these oppressings of the peasantry, which was not seen in other cultures, occurred again and again in China. So such uprisings led to the collapse of Qin dynasty. So such uprisings, such peasant uprisings led to the collapse of Qin dynasty. So fall of Qin dynasty. So Qin dynasty, so the famous ruler was Shi Huangdi. So he was Wang Cheng, but he was popularly called as Shi Huangdi, meaning the first emperor. He entered the age of warring states in China. He crushed the local rulers and established a strong central government. So Shi Huangdi crushed all local rulers and established a strong central government. But the oppressings of the peasantry, unlike in other cultures, occurred again and again in China. So such oppressings led to the collapse of Qin dynasty. So Han dynasty and expansion of Chinese territories. So after the fall of Qin dynasty, so China was ruled by the new dynasty, so called as Han dynasty. So Han dynasty ruled China between 206 BC to 220 AD. So Han dynasty ruled China between 206 BC to 220 AD. That is for nearly 400 years. So Han dynasty ruled China for 400 years. So it was founded by Liu Peng. So Han dynasty was founded by Liu Peng, which ruled between 206 BC to 220 AD. So flourished, so developed for 400 years. So their capital city was Chang'an. So the capital city of Han dynasty was Chang'an, and the most popular and powerful ruler was Wu Ti. So the most popular and powerful ruler of Han dynasty was Wu Ti. His generals succeeded in driving away the Huns in the north. So the generals of Wu Ti succeeded in drive away the Huns in the north. So Huns, so they occupied the northern part of China. So because of their occupation, so there was a block in the silk trade. Okay, so there was a block in silk trade. So the generals of Wuti succeeded in driving away the Huns in the north. So thus the Han Empire once again threw open the Silk Road for trade. So because of the defeat of Huns, so there was a chance of opening the Silk Road. Okay? So the Han Empire once again threw open the Silk Road for trade. A large export trade, so mainly in silk, reached as far as the Roman Empire. So because of the opening of the Silk Road, so the Chinese silk had reached the Roman Empire. Okay, so Han Dynasty, so founded by Liu Peng, so flourished for nearly 400 years. So their capital was Chang'an. So the most popular and powerful ruler was Wu Ti. His generals succeeded in driving away the Huns in the north. Thus the Han Empire once again threw open the Silk Road for trade. A large export trade, mainly in silk, reached as far as the Roman Empire. So then in the north, so already the Huns had defeated the Huns in the north. But in the north now, the artisans and herders of rival barbarians. So artisans, a skilled worker who made things by hand. So artisans means a skilled worker who made things by hand. So in the north, artisans and herders of rival barbarian dynasty. So barbarian dynasty, a member of a people who did not belong to one of the greatest civilization. So barbarians, so they had no civilization. So in the north, artisans and the barbarian dynasties brought in new techniques. So in the north of the Han dynasty, Han Empire, the artisans and the herders so brought new techniques. So like the methods of harnessing horses. So harnessing means a set of straps and fitting by which a horse or other animal is fastened to a cart, plough, etc., and is controlled by its driver. So harnessing horse means, so by attaching a cart to the horse and control. So by attaching a cart, so to a horse or any other animal, and it is used for carrying goods or for carrying people. So harnessing horses, and use of saddle and stirrup. So saddle means a seat with a raised ridge at the front and back, fastened on the back of a horse for riding. So saddle, a seat, so which is placed on a horse. So simply we can say saddle means a seat which is placed on the back of the horse, which is used for riding. Then stirrup, so each of a pair of devices attached at either side of the horse saddle in form of a loop with a flat base to support the rider's foot. So in horse riding you can see, so the rider so placed his foot in one thing now, so that is the stirrup. So he placed his foot in the stirrup. So stirrup means each of a pair of devices attached at either side of the horse saddle, which is in the form of a loop with a flat base to support the rider's foot. Okay, so the north, in the northern part of Han dynasty, so artisans and herders of rival barbarian dynasty brought in new techniques like the methods of harnessing horses, and also the use of saddle and stirrup, and also the techniques of building bridges and mountain roads and seafaring. So they introduced seafaring also. So apart from the techniques of building bridges and mountain roads, so they introduced the seafaring. So seafaring means so traveling by sea. So such innovations, so such new techniques of the time made Han Empire a prosperous one. So such innovations made Han Empire a prosperous one. So at the beginning of the Christian era, the Han Empire rivaled that of Rome in the size and wealth. So at the beginning of the Christian era, so beginning of the Christian period, Christianity, so the Han Empire, so it almost equal to that of the Roman Empire's size and wealth. So in the western region of the world, Roman Empire is big. So as like that, in Eastern world, so China became the biggest empire. So the Han dynasty became the biggest empire of that time. Okay, next, Buddhism. So how Buddhism came to China? So Buddhism came to China from India during the reign of Han dynasty. So Buddhism, so which originate in India. So Buddhism. So we have discussed it in our previous lesson. So Buddhism came to China from India during the reign of Han dynasty. So with Buddhism came the influence of Indian art to China, and from China this spread to Korea, and from there to Japan. So along with the Buddhism, so the Indian art also came to China, and from China it spreads to Korea and to Japan. So Buddhism came to China from India so during the Han Dynasty. So along with Buddhism, so Indian art and culture also went to China. So from China, so Buddhism and also Indian art went to Korea and then to Japan. Okay. So some of the Buddhist art of the time show the impact of Hellenistic state. So some of the Buddhist art of the time shows the impact of the Hellenistic style. So the fall of Han emperors. So how the Han emperor fall? So the Han emperors found it extremely difficult to control the big landowners. So Han emperors found it was difficult to control the big landowners. Soon after some decades of the consolidation, China saw the emergence of several rival kingdoms marked by civil wars in North China. So after some decades of consolidation. So consolidation means nothing but consolidating the empire. So that is uniting the empire, uniting the country. So after some decades of the consolidation, China saw the emergence of several rival kingdoms marked by civil wars in North China. So people abandoned their homes and farms and fled from there to the Yangtze region and beyond. So people abandoned, leave their home and farms and they fled away from there to the Yangtze region, Yangtze River region and beyond. So the period after Han ruled witnessed political instability across the country. So the period after Han witnessed the political instability across the country. So Han emperor found it extremely difficult to control the big landowners. So after some decades of consultation, China saw the emergence of several rival kingdoms marked by civil wars in North China. So Han emperor found it difficult to control the big landowners. So after some decades of years of consolidation, so China saw the emergence of several kingdoms, several rival kingdoms in the North China who involved in civil wars. So people, because of the civil war, abandoned their home, left their home and farms and fled to the Yangtze region and beyond. So the period after the Han ruled witnessed political instability across the country. So the period after Han's saw the political instability. So the period after Han's dynasty saw the political instability across the country. So in China, the Qin dynasty and Han dynasty was the two empires which ruled China during the classical period. So in Qin dynasty, Shi Huangdi was the famous ruler, and in Han dynasty, Wu Ti was the famous ruler. So during Han dynasty only, the Silk Road was opened and it export trade, especially silk, to the Roman Empire. Okay, then during the Han dynasty period only, Buddhism came to China from India, and from China it spreads to Korea and Japan. So next, the rise of Christianity. So Christianity, the world, most people following religion was Christianity. So the most populous, the most of the people in the world following Christianity. So first it was Christianity. Okay, so most of the people in the world countries following Christianity. So if you take America, then European countries, then Africa, so parts of African country, so you can see Christians. Okay, so who established? Who was the founder of Christianity? So how it became a universal religion? Okay, so Christianity. Who was the establisher of? Who was the founder of Christianity? Jesus Christ. Okay, so you know the history of Jesus Christ. So often you can watch in movies. So especially now Christian, the Christmas is going to come. So coming December 25. So during that time you can see a lot of movies, so a lot of things about Jesus Christ. Okay, so the rise of Christianity. So we will discuss about how the Christianity became the powerful religion in European countries. Rise of Christianity. So after a brief period of glory in the days of David and Solomon. So after a brief period of glory in the days of David and Solomon, the Jewish people had a great fall and experienced extreme hardship. So after a brief period of glory in the days of David and Solomon. So David and Solomon, so they were the greatest rulers. So before the emergence of Christianity, so the Jewish people had a great fall and experienced extreme hardship. While spreading out all over the Roman Empire and elsewhere, they hoped that a Messiah would arrive to restore their pristine glory. So while spreading out all over the Roman Empire, so the Jews, so they spread out all over the Roman Empire and elsewhere. So they hoped that a Messiah would arrive. So the Jews so expected so that a Messiah would arrive to restore their, so to bring back their pristine glory. Initially, they laid much hope on Jesus. So initially, the Jews, so they laid much hope on Jesus. Okay, after a brief period of glory in the days of David and Solomon, so the Jewish people had a great fall and experienced extreme hardship. Okay, so they were spreading out all over the Roman Empire. They hoped that a Messiah, so Messiah means a leader who believes that he will solve the problems of your country or the world. So a leader who believes so that he will solve the problems of your country or the world. So Jesus Christ is considered as a Messiah because he was sent by God into the world to save people from evil. So Jesus Christ, so he was sent by God. So according to the Jews and the Christians, so Jesus Christ, so he was sent by God to the world in order to save the people from all the evils. So they hoped that a Messiah would arrive to restore their pristine glory. So pristine means in its original condition. So the original glory. So Jews thought that the God will send a Messiah so to restore their past glory. Okay, initially they laid much hope on Jesus. Initially they had a much hope. So they strongly believed on Jesus. So Jesus was against the rich and the hypocrites. So hypocrites, a person who involved in hypocrisy. So hypocrisy means so practice of claiming to have higher standard or more laudable belief than in the case. So practice of claiming to have higher standard of life. So that is, Jesus supported the simple way of life. So he opposed the rich and the hypocrites and condemned certain observance and ceremonials. So ceremonials, religious ceremonials. So he opposed the certain observances and religious ceremonials. So this was not to the liking of the priest who turned against Jesus and handed him over to the Roman governor Pontius Pilate. So Jesus, he was against the rich and the hypocrites and he condemned the certain observances and ceremonials. So this was not liked by the priest and they turned against Jesus and handed him over to the Roman governor Pontius Pilate. So looked upon as a political rebel by the Roman authorities. So Jesus was tried and crucified. So looked upon as a political rebel by the Roman authorities. So Roman authorities thought he was a political rebellion. So Jesus was tried and crucified. So crucified means so put to death by nailing or binding them to a cross. So how Jesus was crucified. Okay, so after a great period of glory in the days of David and Solomon, so the Jewish people had a great fall and experienced extreme hardship. So they spread all over the Roman Empire and elsewhere. So they thought that a Messiah would come to restore their pristine glory. Initially they thought Jesus was the Messiah. So Jesus was against the rich and the hypocrites and he condemned and he criticized some ceremonials and observance of the priest. So this was not liked by the priest who turned against Jesus and handed him over to the Roman governor Pontius Pilate. So looked upon as a political rebel by the Roman authorities, Jesus was tried and he was crucified. So after Jesus' crucifixion, Saint Paul, one of the disciples of Jesus Christ. So after Jesus' crucifixion, Saint Paul started spreading the Christian doctrine. So after Jesus' crucifixion, Saint Paul started spreading the Christian doctrine. So Christian's policy, principle. So Saint Paul succeeded in his effort and Christianity gradually spread. So after Jesus' crucifixion, so Saint Paul started spreading the Christianity's doctrine and he succeeded in his attempt. So Romans were prepared to tolerate Christianity. So Rome people began to tolerate Christianity. but the refusal of the Christians to pay respect to the emperor's image was viewed as a political treason. So Christians, they refused to pay respect to the emperor's image. So it was viewed as a political treason. So treason means the crime of betraying one's country, especially by attempting to kill or overthrow the sovereign or government. So treason means the crime of betraying one's country. So it was thought. So the Christians refused to pay respect to emperor's image. So it was viewed as a political mistake. So it was declared as a political crime. Okay, it led to the persecution of Christians. So the refusal of Christians to pay respect to the emperor's image was viewed as a political treason, which led to the persecution of Christians. So persecution means subject to ill treatment. So they were subjected to ill treatment. So their property, so Christians' property was confiscated. So confiscated means take or seize property with authority. So their property was taken. So their property was seized by the rulers and they were thrown to the lions. So the Christians, they were thrown to the lions. But the Roman Empire did not succeed in suppressing Christianity. So the Roman Empire did not succeed in suppressing Christianity. One of the Roman emperor, so Constantine, so he himself became a Christian. So one of the Roman emperor, Constantine, he himself became a Christian. So thus Christianity became the official religion of the empire. So Jesus Christ, so who was considered as Messiah of God. So according to Christians, so he voiced against the rich and the hypocrites and condemned certain observers and ceremonials. So it was not liked by the priest. So they turned against him and handed him over to the Roman governor Pontius Pilate. So Jesus was looked as a political rebel by the Roman authorities and he was tried and crucified. So after Jesus' crucifixion, Saint Paul, so one of his disciples, so started spreading the Christian doctrine. So Paul succeeded in his effort and Christianity gradually spread. So Christianity slowly spread in the Roman Empire. So Romans, so they began to tolerate Christianity. So Romans prepared to tolerate Christianity, but the refusal of the Christians to pay respect to the emperor's image. So the refusal of the Christians, so to pay respect, so to give respect to the emperor's image was viewed as a political treason, so political crime, which led to the persecution of Christians. So which led to the ill treatment of the Christians. So the Christians' property was confiscated. So the Christian property was taken by the rulers and the Christians were thrown to the lions. But the Roman Empire did not succeed in suppressing the Christianity. So later the Roman Emperor Constantine, so he himself became a Christian. So thus Christianity became the official religion of the empire. Next is the Byzantium. So the Byzantine emperors, so who ruled from the city of Constantinople. So Constantinople, where it is? So now it is in Turkey. So the modern name of Constantinople was Istanbul. So the Byzantine emperors, so who ruled from the city of Constantinople for about 1,000 years, called themselves as the Romans. So the Byzantine emperors who ruled from the city of Constantinople for about 1,000 years, so they called themselves as the Romans. So the Byzantine, they called themselves as the Romans, but their language was Greek. So the language of the Byzantine emperor was Greek. So the splendor of Constantinople with its luxurious royal palaces, its libraries, its scholar families with the writings of Greeks and Romans, and its fascinating Saint Sophia Cathedral are the legacies of they have left behind. Okay, so the Byzantine emperors who ruled from the city of Constantinople for about 1,000 years called themselves as the Romans. So their language was Greek. So though they called themselves as the Romans, their language was Greek. The splendor, so splendor means a magnificent and a very impressive appearance. Okay, so the splendor of Constantinople. So the Constantinople was a very impressive city, with its luxurious royal palaces, its libraries, its scholars familiar with the writings of the Greeks and Romans, and it's fascinating. So fascinating, extremely interesting and attractive. So it's a very interesting Saint Sophia Cathedral or the legacies they have left behind. So the Saint Sophia Cathedral and its their royal palaces, libraries, etc. are the important features they have left. Okay, however, The Byzantine, so they were not given much importance to science and technology. So though the Byzantine emperors gave importance to the architectural work, so in terms of development of science and technology, there was no progress during their period. So in terms of development of science and technology, there was no progress during the period. So during the Byzantine period, so the economic of the empire provinces were in the hands of large landowners. So the economy of the empire's provinces, so the whole Byzantine empire was divided into provinces. So the economy of the each provinces was in the hands of the large local landowners. So the small peasants always lived in the edge of the poverty. So the small peasants, they were in poverty. So the fundamental weakness of the Byzantine civilization stood exposed when the participants of the Fourth Crusade pillaged it and ruled it. So the fundamental, so the basic weakness of Byzantine civilization exposed when the participants of the Fourth Crusade. So crusade, so the war between the Christians and Muslims, so in order to control the city of Jerusalem. So we will discuss about this in our next unit. Okay, so the fundamental weakness of Byzantine civilization is exposed when the participants of Fourth Crusade pillaged it and ruled it. So pillaged means to steal things from a place or a region, especially in a war using violence. So pillaged means to steal things from a place or a region. So during war, so during the Fourth Crusades, the participants of the Fourth Crusades, so pillaged the Byzantine Empire and ruled it. So the tottering empire so finally fell to the Ottoman Turks in the year 1453. So the tottering empire so finally fell to the Ottoman Turks in 1453. Okay, so the Byzantine emperor, so they ruled from the city of Constantinople nearly for 1,000 years. So their language was Greek. So the splendor of Constantinople with its luxurious royal palace, its libraries, its scholars who was familiar in the Greek and Roman languages, and their attractive construction. So Saint Sophia Cathedral or the legacies they have left behind. So there are the some impressions so which they have left behind. But in terms of development of science and technology, there was no progress. So there was no development in their period. So nearly for 1,000 years, there is no development in the field of science and technology. And also the economy of the empire's provinces was in the hands of the rich local landlords, but the common people, so the peasants, so they were in the edge of poverty. So the weakness of the Byzantine Empire so exposed out when the participants of the Fourth Crusade attacked it and take the wealth and ruled it. So the tottering empire finally fell to the Ottoman Turks in the year 1453. Saint Sophia Cathedral. So Saint Sophia Cathedral was built in mid 6th century AD. So Saint Sophia Cathedral was built in mid 6th century AD, the most magnificent building in Europe at that time. It was known for its innovative architectural technique. So the Saint Sophia Cathedral was known for its innovative architectural technique. So this cathedral, it belongs to the Christians. So cathedral means the seat of so Christian bishop. So the seat of Christian's bishop was called as cathedral. So Saint Sophia Cathedral belongs to Christians. So which was built in 6th century AD. So this cathedral was turned into a mosque by the Ottoman Turks when they captured Constantinople. So this Sophia Cathedral, so Saint Sophia Cathedral was turned into a mosque. So mosque, the worshipping place of the Muslims. So Ottoman Turks, so they belongs to Islam. So they belong to Muslim. So this cathedral was turned into a mosque by the Ottoman Turks when they captured Constantinople. So Saint Sophia Cathedral was built in mid 6th century AD. So the most magnificent building, so the most attractive building in Europe at the time was Saint Sophia Cathedral, and it was known for its innovative architectural techniques. So this cathedral was turned into a mosque by the Ottoman Turks when they captured Constantinople. So when Ottoman Turks captured Constantinople in the year 1453, they turned the Saint Sophia Cathedral into a mosque. India during the classical period. So what happened in India during the classical period? So the Kushan period. So India was ruled by the Kushan dynasty. So the Kushan period corresponded with the last days of the Roman Republic when Julius Caesar was alive. So the Kushan period corresponded with the last days of the Roman Republic when Julius Caesar was alive. The Kushan Empire is said to have sent an embassy. Sent an embassy to Augustus Caesar, who succeeded Julius Caesar. So the Kushan period corresponded with the last days of the Roman Republic when Julius Caesar was alive. So when Julius Caesar was in Rome, India was ruled by the Kushan dynasty. So it was said that the Kushan Empire had sent an embassy to the Roman Emperor Augustus Caesar, who succeeded Julius Caesar. And at the same time, 18 major works of Sangam Age, so that is 8 anthologies, so 8 Tokai and 10 idols, so 10 Pattu, so compiled during the first 3 centuries of the Common Era, and Sangam literature, which was hailed as the first secular literature of India. So 18 major works of Sangam Age, that is 8 anthologies and 10 idols, so 8 Togai and 10 Pattu, so compiled during the first 3 centuries of the Common Era, which were composed during this period, so during the classical period. So Sangam literature, yes, it was praised as the first secular literature of India. So secular means so non-religious. So it didn't support any religion. It was considered as the secular literature of India. So the corresponding period, so 4th and 5th century AD in South India, so characterized by the Calabra period. So Calabras, so teak wood, pepper, pearls, ivory, brocades and precious stones and the like were exported from the Malabar coast to the Babylonia, Egypt, Greece and Rome. So trade with Rome further flourished. So already we have discussed this thing in 4th lesson. So in South India, we have excavated Roman coins, so gold coins in the region of South India, so especially in Tamil Nadu. It shows that the South Indian people had trade contact with the Roman Empire. So the Kushan period corresponded with the days of the Roman Republic when Julius Caesar was alive. So the Kushan Empire is said to have an embassy with Julius Caesar, who succeeded Julius. 18 major works of Sangam Age, that is 8 anthologies, 8 Togai and 10 idols, 10 Pattu, compiled during the first 3 centuries of the Common Era, were composed during this period. So Sangam literature, so it was praised as the first secular literature of India. Then the corresponding period, so 4th and 5th century AD in South India was ruled by the Calabras. So teak wood, pepper, pearls, ivory, brocades and precious stones and the likes were exported from the Malabar coast to Babylonia, Egypt, Greece and Rome. So trade with Rome further flourished. Okay students, so today's class we discussed about the empire building in East Asia. So first we discussed about the dynasty in China, so Qin dynasty and the Han dynasty. So during the Han dynasty only, so Buddhism spread to China and some innovations in Han Empire made it a prosperous one. But the continuous rival, so continuous civil war in China led to the decline of Han dynasty. Then we discussed about the rise of Christianity. So how Christianity became the official religion of the empire. So Constantine, so one of the Roman emperor, so he himself became a Christian. So before that, so the Roman rulers, even though accept Christianity, they punished the Christians because the Christians refused to pay respect to the emperor's image. But later, Christianity became the official religion of the empire. Then we discussed about the Byzantine Empire. So Byzantine, so they told that they were Roman, but they spoke Greek language. So Byzantium, so they gave importance to architecture. So one of the most important architecture work was Saint Sophia Cathedral. But they didn't give much importance to science and technology. So the field of science and technology lagged behind when compared to other countries. So they were defeated. So finally they were. So the Byzantine Empire was defeated by the Ottoman Turks in the 1453 AD. Then we discussed about India during the classical period. So during the period of Julius Caesar, India was ruled by the Kushan dynasty. Then so after that, in South India, so it was the period of compilation of the 18 major works. So that is 18 Melkanaku. So the text of 19 Melkanaku. So it was compiled during the first three centuries of Common Era. Then we discussed about the Kalabara period. So 4th century, 5th century AD. So that is the South India had trade contact with Roman Empire and also with Babylonia, Egypt and Greece also. Yeah, so trade with Roman, so developed during the Calabrese period. Yeah, so we have discussed these things. Okay, ma? So if you have any doubt in this topic, so please contact me. Yeah, so take your book. Yeah, so come to page number 72. Yeah, textbook reading. So read the heading, Rise of Christianity. Yeah, then homework. Take page number 75. 5th Roman letter. So 4th question, then 5th question. 4th, what were the reasons for the prosperity of Han Empire? So take page number 71. So second getting Han Dynasty under the expansion of Chinese territories. In that second paragraph, in the north, artisans and herders of a rival barbarian dynasty brought in new techniques like the methods of harnessing horses, use of saddle and stirrup, techniques of building bridges and mountain roads, and seafaring. So such innovations made Han Empire prosperous. So that is the answer for 4th question. Then 5th, write about Saint Sophia Cathedral. So take page number 72. So the box, Saint Sophia Cathedral. So Saint Sophia Cathedral was built in mid-6th century AD, the most magnificent building in Europe at the time. It was known for its architectural techniques. This cathedral was turned into a mosque by the Ottoman Turks when they captured Constantinople. So this is the answer for 5th question. So write 4th question and 5th question as your homework. Okay, ma? If you have any doubt in this lesson, so please contact me. Okay, ma? So 5th lesson, so the classical world. So we have completed the lesson. Okay, students, thank you. Have a nice day.